As Delhi's air quality continues to be in the severe category, even 2 days after Diwali, the nationwide air quality index or AQI shows that multiple cities across India too continue to be in poor shape, with as many as 7 of them in UP and the rest in Haryana. And that's not all. Relief is only expected on the evening of the 7th of November, that is Sunday evening. But even then, the AQI is expected to fluctuate within the very poor range. So Delhi's AQI post Diwali this time has been the worst in 3 years.
A thick blanket of toxic smog over Delhi and nearby cities for second consecutive day post Diwali. In Delhi-NCR, the air quality remained in the severe category with PM 2.5 levels above 500 for most part of the region. While healthcare experts advise people to avoid outdoor activity in these conditions, for many, that's simply not an option. 45-year-old Komal and his entire family work at a construction site outside a swanky mall in South Delhi. Despite the air quality dipping to hazardous levels, they say they have no choice but to continue working. They can't even afford to keep their 8-month-old child at home, as the entire family has to work outside.
क्या करें, अपना मजदूर आदमी भोग रहा है, उनको क्या है,
काम भी बंद हो जाता है,
तो सरकार थोड़ी दे रही घर बैठ के खाए चा, हैं,
काम तो करना पड़ेगा,
काम तो करना पड़ेगा, सरकार देगा तो घर में बैठेंगे आदमी।
हाँ होती है, बच्चे की चिंता होती है, वैसे तबीयत खराब हो जाती है तो हम लोगों को इतना खांसी जुकाम हो जाता है।
45-year-old Dharampal has been working as a rickshaw puller for the past 25 years. He is out on the streets peddling his rickshaw for 10 hours every day. He complains of breathing difficulty but says he has to keep going to earn for his family.
सर यह है कि इससे कि सांसें फूलती है, पोल्यूशन ज़्यादा आँखों में भी लगता है, समस्या यही है। और मान लो अगर हम ना लेके चलेंगे तो हमें 2 पैसे मिलेंगे कहाँ से? हम तो जी देखो सुबह 9 से अपना 7 बजे तक काम करते रहते हैं।
28-year-old Kavita lives in a tarpaulin tent with her 3 children. She says she worries about the safety of her children but has no option but to breathe in toxic air.
बच्चों क्या बुखार सर्दी आ जाता है, वही उसी में दिखाना पड़ता है। कोई हम लोग इतने बड़े आदमी तो है नहीं, कोई रूम किराया से ले ले उसमें रह सके अंदर, पेट पालना तो करना ही पड़ेगा।
Healthcare experts say long-term exposure to polluted air can lead to multiple health complications.
See, basically we need to understand that air pollution does not only result in respiratory problems, but there are so many other systems also that can be involved. It has been shown to reduce your total average lifespan also significantly.
So these people who are working outside every day, who cannot, to earn a livelihood, cannot stay indoors, they are at high risk.
Certainly they are all at high risk. Anybody moving out at this time, indulging in any kind of strenuous physical activity outdoors is definitely bound to be at high risk.
In fact, University of Chicago's Air Quality Life Index report estimates that Delhi residents may see up to 10 years added to their lives if the air quality is improved to WHO standards. The Delhi government has rolled out emergency measures including water sprinklers to contain the air pollution. Question is, how much will they help in cleaning Delhi's deadly air?
इमरजेंसी मेजर के रूप में दिल्ली सरकार की तरफ से दिल्ली की सड़कों पर जो है पानी के छिड़काव का जो है काम शुरू किया गया है और बड़ी स्मॉग गन लगाई गई हैं, टैंकर्स के द्वारा जो है छिड़काव का काम। 92 ऐसी कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट, 92 साइट्स को बैन करने का, सील करने का आदेश जारी कर दिया गया है।
With the toxic air in the national capital, the healthcare experts have been advising people to avoid all outdoor activities and stay indoors as much as possible. But for a large section of our society, that privilege is not a possibility. They must come out of their homes to earn a living. For them, pollution is scary, but starvation is scarier. With camera person Mohammed Mursaleen, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
Meanwhile, emissions from stubble burning accounted for 36% of the pollution shared on Saturday. That's what the Centre-run System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research, or SAFAR, had said. And while the bursting of crackers should end by Saturday, hopefully, the residue burning is expected to continue till the end of November.
A farmer in Mansa district of Punjab burning paddy residue in his farmland. He acknowledges that smoke from stubble fire is harmful for health, but says the government has not given enough monetary assistance to manage stubble.
2-3 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਝੋਨੇ ਦੀ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗ ਨਾ ਲਾਈ ਜਾਵੇ, ਪ੍ਰਦੂਸ਼ਣ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਫੈਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਮੰਗ ਰੱਖੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ 3-4 ਸਾਲ ਤੱਕ, ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ।
Punjab reported 5,327 incidents of stubble burning on Friday, which is single highest in a day this season. 28,792 stubble burning cases have been reported so far this year, which are lower compared to the same period in the last 2 years. 70% of paddy harvest has been completed in Punjab. But due to the ongoing farm agitation and late start of harvesting owing to rain, the residue burning is expected to continue till the end of November.
सरकार ने ना सानू हो दिता है ते अजे सरकार सानू धमकियां दिंदी है, डरावे दिंदी है भी जे किसानां ने अग लाती असीं जेल च डकांगे, 5-5 करोड़ रुपया असीं जुर्माना करांगे, 5 साल की सजा, करोड़ रुपया जुर्माना। जे करोड़ा रुपया होवे फिर सानू दिन रात खापण दी की लोड़ है।
The consequences of stubble burning in Punjab already being felt in Delhi and the national capital region. Stubble burning is now behind 41% of the particulate matter 2.5 pollution in Delhi. Air pollution levels in Delhi remain high in the severe category. The Air Quality Monitoring Agency SAFAR says that pollution levels may dip from the evening of 7th of November but will still fluctuate in the very poor category. But Punjab government is offering little in terms of solutions, calling pollution a global problem.
एनवायरनमेंट के ऊपर कंट्रोल के लिए किसानों को भी सोचना पड़ेगा, हमें शहरियों को भी सोचना पड़ेगा, हर इंसान को सोचना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये ग्लोबली इशू है, पंजाब, हरियाणा और दिल्ली का मसला नहीं है।
Year on year, it's the same story. Government assures that proper arrangements have been made to check stubble burning, but farmers complain of lack of monetary assistance. The outcome? Stubble burning goes on, mostly unchecked, adding to the unhealthy cocktail of toxic gases. With Mohammad Ghazali in Chandigarh, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And 11 patients were killed in a fire in a COVID ICU ward of the Ahmednagar Civil Hospital in Maharashtra on Saturday morning. An inquiry has now been ordered into the entire matter, but that is going to be of little consequence for those who lost loved ones.
Charred remains of what was the COVID ICU at the Civil Hospital in Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra. There were 17 patients admitted here when a deadly fire broke out this morning. When the blaze was brought under control after nearly an hour, 10 patients had lost their lives. Another patient succumbed to his injuries in the evening. Doctors and relatives were seen desperately trying to revive some of those caught in the fire.
शॉर्ट सर्किट की वजह से यहाँ पे आग लगी है। कोविड का जो अहमदनगर सिविल हॉस्पिटल का ये जो वार्ड था उसमें 17 पेशेंट्स थे और यहाँ पे उनको वहाँ से शिफ्ट किया। उसमें लोकल एमएलए ने भी वो इमीडिएटली यहाँ पे पहुँचे थे। सब यहाँ पे जो भी कार्रवाई करने की कार्रवाई किया।
एफआईआर दर्ज किया जा रहा है यहाँ पर और सेक्शन 304 AIPC के अंतर्गत अज्ञात लोगों के विरुद्ध में गुना दाखिल किया जाएगा। ऑब्वियसली समिति का जो अहवाल होगा वो पुलिस के जो तपास में उसकी भी एक महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रहेगी।
Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has ordered a probe into the tragedy and the state government has announced 5 lakh compensation for the families of those who died. Prime Minister Modi tweeted to say that he was anguished by the loss of lives.
मैंने विजिट भी की है, जो इंजर्ड है, बाकी जो 6 लोग उनसे बात भी की है। इंक्वायरी कमेटी इंक्वायरी कर रही है, उसके रिपोर्ट आने के बाद ये डिटेल पता लगेगा।
जिले की कमेटी जो महाराष्ट्र की कमेटी लाई जाए और इसमें आग किस तरह से लगी, किस कारण से लगी और इसमें जिम्मेदार कौन कौन है, वो सब लोगों की यहाँ पे उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik said that the ICU had been newly built for the express purpose of treating coronavirus patients and the fact that a fire had broken out was a very serious issue.
ये स्पष्ट आदेश था कि सभी अस्पतालों का फायर ऑडिट किया जाए। इसकी जांच बैठाई जाएगी कि इस अस्पताल का फायर ऑडिट किया गया था कि नहीं किया गया तो कौन दोषी है, और फायर ऑडिट के बाद भी अगर आग लगती है तो क्या कारण है, निश्चित रूप से जांच होगी।
This is the third major incident of hospital fire in Maharashtra this year, raising questions over fire safety in hospitals. With Sohit Mishra in Mumbai, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And a special investigating team of the SIT of the Narcotics Control Bureau reached Mumbai on Saturday, a day after the agency transferred to it the investigation in 6 cases, including the controversial cruise drugs case in which the superstar Shah Rukh Khan's son was arrested, and they shunted out Sameer Wankhede of the team investigating the case. The NCB had arrested RN Khan and at least 19 others in the drugs on cruise case last month, and Wankhede has been facing a departmental vigilance probe after an independent witness in this case alleged an extortion bid by those involved in the investigation.
IPS officer Sanjay Kumar Singh is now heading the special investigation team that has taken over 6 cases that were handled by Mumbai anti-drugs officer Sameer Wankhede. The transferred cases include the one in which RN Khan was arrested and Nawab Malik's son-in-law Sameer Khan's case.
A group of 6 cases. We have already issued a statement last night, so I have nothing more to add. So, as of now,
समीर वानखेड़े के आरोप लगाए गए हैं यहाँ पे, क्या उनका सहयोग भी लिया जाएगा पूरे इन्वेस्टिगेशन के दौरान?
he is JD Mumbai. He definitely हम लोग उनका पूरे जोन का assistance लेंगे.
Narcotics Control Bureau sources have told NDTV that the departmental vigilance inquiry against Sameer Wankhede is still underway, as several procedural irregularities in the cases handled by Wankhede's team have also been raised. Sources say they are adhering to the principle of natural justice. The agency has transferred the cases out of Mumbai unit. According to the NCB, the 6 cases have national and international ramifications. Cases have been transferred to the special investigation team to conduct a deeper investigation. No officer has been removed from their present roles. But Wankhede's actions have triggered off a full-blown political war between the BJP and the NCP.
मैं कुछ विषयों की जानकारी लेके आप सबके सामने आया।
Mumbai BJP leader Mohit Kamboj has alleged an NCP link to the drugs on cruise case and suggested that some Maharashtra ministers might be trying to extort money from Shah Rukh Khan. NCP leader Nawab Malik has hit back, calling the allegations an unsuccessful attempt to misguide and divert the attention from the truth. Amid all this, the Vigilance Inquiry team headed by Gyaneshwar Singh will reach Mumbai on Monday for the last phase of the inquiry against Sameer Wankhede, where the team is expecting to record the statements of Prabhakar Sel, who levelled extortion allegations against Wankhede. With Arvind Gunasekhar in New Delhi, in Mumbai, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
And staying with Maharashtra, the former Home Minister Deshmukh, who faces money laundering allegations, has been sent to a 14-day judicial custody after the Enforcement Directorate's request to a Mumbai court to extend his custody with them for interrogation was denied by the court on Saturday. Following this, the court ordered that Mr. Deshmukh be sent to judicial instead of the investigating agency's custody. This also opens the way for Mr. Deshmukh's legal team to apply for bail. And the Punjab Advocate General APS Deol has hit back at the Congress leader Navjot Singh Sidhu, who has demanded his resignation over his representing 2 accused cops in the 2015 sacrilege and police firing case. Mr. Deol slammed the former cricketer for what he has called, I'm quoting here, repeat utterances that seek to derail the earnest efforts of the state to ensure justice in the drugs matter and the sacrilege cases. He accused Mr. Sidhu of spreading misinformation to gain political advantage over his political colleagues. And the Punjab Chief Minister has responded to the drug and sacrilege cases. He has backed the legal team for getting legal permission to interrogate the Dera chief in the sacrilege cases. He also says he is hopeful that the SCF report on drugs in the High Court will be open later this month. This after Sidhu has raised allegations about slow progress in these cases.
जज तो परमिशन ले ली है, बाबा तक पहुंचने दी। हाई कोर्ट ने अपील करी कि जी नहीं होना चाहिए। हाई कोर्ट तो सारे वकील जीत गए, उन्होंने जेल में जाके पूछने का इजाजत दे दी है। ना बेअदबी का मसला रहेगा, मेरे गुरु का मसला है। साढ़े वकीलों ने अपनी सरकार के वकीलों ने दवारे को खुलने वास्ते फैसला कर लिया, लगातार देख रहे हैं। परमात्मा ने चाहा कि 18 तारीख को ये फैल खुल जानी है, लिफाफा जो बन गया उसको पता लगेगा किहड़े है। कि नाम है सौगन, नाम है उन्होंने सौ देना जिन्होंने नशा बेच के पंजाब के लोगों को गाया है।
And just the day after he defended it in a major setback to the Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, his alliance partner the BJP wants him to revisit and review the prohibition policy in the state.
मेरा मानना है कि एक पूरा इस कानून की सफलता 5 साल 6 साल हो गया, जरूर इस पर एक विचार और जरूर इस पर एक सोच होनी चाहिए। जहां पर मजबूती से पुलिस काम कर रही है वहां पर कुछ घटनाएं हो रही हैं, क्योंकि वो लोकल स्तर पर 3 नंबर का काम करने के कारण हो रहा है। जहां घटनाएं नहीं हो रही हैं, खास करके अगर मैं पूर्वी चंपारण की बात करूं जो मेरा भी लोकसभा क्षेत्र का हिस्सा है, तो जो स्थितियां हैं वह भयावह हैं। कहीं ना कहीं पुलिस प्रशासन का सहयोग से पूर्वी चंपारण में शराब का काम चल रहा है, और जहां 1 नंबर का शराब प्रशासन के सहयोग से चल रहा है वहां पर जाहिर बात है कि इस तरह की घटनाएं नहीं होती हैं।
And the Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav has doubled down on his remarks on Pakistan's founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah days after the BJP criticized him for putting Jinnah and Sardar Patel in the same bracket.
उसको चलाया है, कई राजनीतिक ने उसको सवाल किया है, जो आपने महात्मा गांधी और जिन्ना को लेकर कहा था, उसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या था? अगर आप एक बार क्लियर कर दो।
क्यों करें कॉन्टेक्स्ट? मैं तो कहूँगा ना कि दोबारा किताबें पढ़ ली, दोबारा किताबें पढ़नी चाहिए।
And his comment has drawn a response from the UP BJP chief, who tweeted in Hindi that the love for Jinnah still remains intact. Akhilesh Yadav ji, please tell us which history books have to be read, the Indian or the Pakistani. And finally, as India's capital city Delhi is dealing with the drastic dip of air quality to hazardous levels, let's bring you a story of hope. A young Delhi boy who's invented what could be a potential solution for 2 problems: producing air pollution and reusing agricultural waste for creating fuel. And Prime Minister Modi met this young man, Vidyut Mohan, in Scotland during his recent trip there for the COP26 summit to understand his invention.
Sitting out in the open is a thing of joy Vidyut Mohan misses in Delhi, his home. Scotland's Glasgow is hosting the United Nations Global Summit on Climate Change, where this young innovator is presenting his Earthshot Prize-winning innovation that can convert agricultural waste to create renewable fuel and fertilizers. India's Prime Minister Mr. Modi met the 30-year-old mechanical engineer while in Scotland.
Mr. Modi was short. It was a 2-minute meeting. He was really curious about the machine, how it worked, how the farmers have received it, and he was particularly curious to know where are we manufacturing it and how are we doing that.
Vidyut's innovation is a low-cost portable equipment which can be deployed on farmland or can be mounted on tractors. Farmers often burn anything they cannot sell. Burnt agricultural waste contributes to up to 30% of India's air pollution. Vidyut's innovation promises to reduce smoke emissions by up to 98%. He says it will largely contribute to India's pledge at the COP26 summit of reaching net zero by 2070.
Either me or someone in my family or my grandparents would get ill from the smog, and we were aware that it's because of the pollution. But when data actually started coming in as to what are the various, what contributes to this air pollution, it was, it was quite shocking to see that burning of agricultural waste contributes significantly to it. Our aim is to scale this solution as fast as possible, and it's for that we won the Earthshot Prize. And however, we cannot do this alone, so we need to work with partners to do this. Of course, the government can play a big role in scaling this up, in creating the right environment so that the technology reaches the farmers. But also at the same time, private corporations can work with us so that the outputs produced from the machines, such as fuels and fertilizers, can be part of their value chain, and they can induce sustainability in their value chain.
Globally, $120 billion worth of agricultural waste is generated every year. Most farmers believe that the cheapest way of clearing land is to burn the waste for new plantation. The World Health Organization has confirmed that agricultural waste being set on fire contributes to air pollution, which kills more than 7 million people every year. This is the largest source of black carbon, which is contributing towards melting of Himalayan glaciers, on which the rivers are highly dependent, and on rivers, billions of people. Radhika Iyer in Glasgow in Scotland, NDTV.